Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Court Farms here in Farming Simulator 22 with me, Waddy. I have finished the seeding, ladies and gents. We just have this one last field to roll. Field 57. I'm just doing my headland run at the moment. And then I'm going to hand over to a worker because I want to actually try and get grass cut today. All being well, because it is the end of the month, nearly. I think we've got one more day. I think we've got 6 days per month on this save at the moment. So I want to try and get into the whole grass mowing side of things and explain to why that can be really good for everybody, even if you don't yet have animals and don't need the grass for food and stuff. Because typically, most people assume the only reason you want to mow and cut grass is to feed cows, sheep, horses, etc. And that's not strictly true. You can actually make a decent bit of profit and a decent bit of money from grasswork without having animal husbandry. So that's what I'm going to try and look at, because obviously winter is coming. Sorry about the Game of Thrones reference there. But winter is indeed coming. We only have 17,000 left in the bank. After everything we've done so far in just 1 month, we need to try and increase our earnings. Otherwise, we're not going to get very far in this save. We're going to be broke and bankrupt pretty early going. So yes, at the moment I am weeding. I am rolling my field. And I probably should have explained a little bit more clearly as to why we have to roll after seeding and the differences and sometimes the issues players run into. Okay, so in this game, in Farming Simulator 22, anytime you seed a field, okay, you need to do rolling. You need to do soil rolling, okay? And typically what happens is when you go into the store menu and you go to equipment, players get a little bit confused with rollers because we have a rollers section which contains rollers. We also have a grassland care section which contains rollers. The difference being rollers are what you use on soil after you have seeded, okay? So anytime on the map where you see the needs rolling status or layer, you need to use a soil roller immediately after seeding. Immediately after seeding. If you try rolling after the crop is growing, or if it's a grass field and the grass has grown, doesn't work, okay? It will not remove the needs rolling status. Excuse me. Right. Grassland rollers are completely different. With grassland rollers, you will use these after you have mowed a grass field. Because what happens is when you mow a grass field, it goes to harvested on the map. And normally what you have to do is you have to wait a month before the grass starts to regrow and goes back to growing. However, if you, after mowing, go over the field with a grassland mower, grassland roller, should I say, you immediately start the grass regrowing. It immediately changes the field from harvested to growing again, and it also provides the grass with an extra layer of fertilization, meaning you can get your grass fields back up to 100% fertilizer by rolling them, which saves you using fertilizer, liquid fertilizer, slurry, manure, or any of those other products which actually cost you money. Okay? So you can actually get your grass fields growing quicker and get their fertilization back up to perfect by taking the time to use a roller. Which after it's been bought, the initial outlay doesn't cost you anything in ongoing, products. Another thing that was mentioned to me in one of my recent in one of the early videos, feedback from one of the early videos in the series, is that when I went into the shop menu, I just started randomly clicking things and didn't really explain the shop menu to people, because I guess I assumed most players, even beginner players, will have probably played through the tutorial of the game. But if you haven't, allow me to explain the shop menu for you. So the first icon, which looks like a little tag symbol, is your brands. In here are all the brands, manufacturers in the game. So if you want to find a piece of equipment from, say, let's pick Kubota, for example. If we click on the Kubota, it shows you all the Kubota equipment that is available to purchase in the game, including mods, where the mod authors have correctly assigned them to the right brands. So they'll all appear in there, which makes it a little bit easier to find stuff. If you're a brand kind of person, if you're looking for specific, you want to keep all your equipment the same brand, the same theme, great way to do it. Next icon down is all the vehicles. So this groups all vehicles together. Okay. So anything that is classed as a vehicle is found in here. Okay. Anything that's kind of self-propelled or driven. So you've got your tractors, your trucks, your harvesters, forage harvesters, etc., etc., etc. Your grape harvesters, olive harvesters, things like that. Mowers, including the hand-pushed ones. The hand mowers, the AEB CC66 and the Braille-Meyer 29 EFI. Those are also classed as vehicles, as is the Vermeer baler. Okay, so they're all found on this screen. Then you've got your tool screen, where you will find all your attachments and equipment that you put onto a vehicle to be able to use them. Okay, fairly straightforward. And again, everything's split up into categories, so you can find what you're looking for. Next screen down is objects. So this is your things like your purchasables, like your seeds, your limes, your wheat, your oats, salt. And again, any other mods that you've got in, add any other palleted materials are in here. You've also got your big bags. Again, seed, fertilizers, limes, things like cow food if you've got mods, sheep food, horse food. Like I've got a few mods that add a few things. We've also got some transport bags where I can fill these with my own product for easy transporting and taking to a sell point. And then a few other things like liftable bags and pallets, which allow you to, as a player in first person or third person, to be able to pick up and move bags. Because, you know, sometimes when you're trying to stack stuff, it's very hard in the game when you can't actually lift it up with your person, with the hand tool. So I like to have liftable bags and pallets as opposed to the regular in-game ones, which you have to move all the while with forklifts or stuff. You've got your pallets. So again, your liquids. So your fertilizers, your herbicides, solid, you know, poplars, sugar canes when you want to plant those things, tree saplings if you're planting trees. You've got your silage additive, your loading wagons, stuff we'll get into later on. Mineral feed, again, when we get into cows later on in the series, we will get into that. And again, anything from mods, like you've got your pumps and hoses. And then you've got transport pallets again, which is fairly cool. Bales, you can buy bales. So if you are having trouble getting enough material to feed your animals later on when you get into animal husbandry, you find your cows are eating rather a lot of food and you need hay and silage and stuff and straw, you can buy bales in the game. Okay. And then containers, because we've got obviously the platinum expansion, which allows us to put logs into a container for transporting. And then you've got packs of equipment. Now this is something Giants added in FS22, whereby when you come into the game and you think to yourself, right, I want to do forage. I want to be able to make forage. Well, they give you these little packs of equipment that will let you do everything you need to make forage. Okay. Forage is TMR for, obviously, the cows. If I want to do hay, again, gives you all the equipment on this page. So if you know what job you want to do, you can come into this screen. And if you don't know what tools and stuff you need, great way of doing it. Potatoes, all the equipment you need to do potatoes is here. Little starter pack type stuff. Then on the next screen, we've got the used vehicle sales screen. This is something Giants added in FS22, which allows you to buy used vehicles. Now, I do run a mod found on the Giants mod hub, the in-game mod hub, which allows you to customize the number of items that are offered for sale each and every single day in-game. So I have a lot. I can each day in the vanilla game, the base game that maybe most of you are playing, you'll probably have just 4 items on here in this menu that change every couple of days in game. Well, with the mod, this changes every single day, and we have a lot more equipment available. And it also pulls in mod equipment. So if you've got mods installed, like for example the roller mod that I am using, there is one available. Again, sprayers from the Kubota pack equipment mod and stuff. Liftable pallets, we can get a discount. Look, there's some liquid fertilizer there. Look, 59% discount. Again, it's not just limited to vehicles and equipment. You sometimes find pallets of stuff, which again, worth buying. Next screen down is the little house icon or shed icon. This shows you all the equipment that you own on your farm. So the first thing that most people do when they load into a map, which is kind of what I did in episode 1, was come to this screen to see what we start out with. And what is ultimately our kind of limitations and what we've got restrictions on. And so that's at 0%. That's not showing me a wear level, but I know that is broken. So yeah, all your own equipment is on this tab. Next one is your leased items, items that you have borrowed. Or in my case, with the mods that I'm using, items that I have leased to buy. So normally, when you come into when you borrow an item or lease an item from the store, they'll all appear on this menu. You can come into the screen. You can hit A. I'm playing on controller, by the way. Hence why I say A. If you're playing on mouse, on keyboard, return, and that'll return the leased equipment. So you're no longer borrowing it, no longer renting it and paying for it. However, I do have the option with the mod that I'm using to buy the equipment for my farm, less what I've already paid in leasing costs and leasing fees. So very useful mod. You've then got, on this screen here, all the mods and DLCs that you have installed in the game. So if you've installed a specific mod, for example, say the Class Xerion 3000 series tractor, and you're having a little bit of trouble finding exactly which menu or which other menu or screen or where it is in game to buy it, if you always come to the mods and DLCs tab, you can find stuff and buy stuff from here. And then lastly, you've got your animal dealer for buying animals. You've got your wardrobe if you want to change the outfit that your farmer is wearing. You can go into the buy menu, the placeables menu, and the farmland menus. Okay. There are other shortcuts to get to these menus. For example, if you're playing on a controller and you hold left bumper, and press the options button, the select button, that takes you straight into the placeable screen. Okay. So yes, I covered that in a little bit more detail now, hopefully. That was one of the feedbacks I got on the early episode, that I did kind of skip over the whole store and shop menus. Again, I kind of assume people know how to open and close a menu in the game. Although Giants do make it difficult to close menus, especially if you're playing on controllers. And that's one of my biggest grumbles with the game still. After all this time, after all this, all these updates and everything, we still, as controller players, can't close the main menu with the same button we used to open it. Which is a nightmare, because then you're activating cruise control or hiring workers when you're trying to get out of the menu if you use the standard controller key bindings. I have changed my controller key bindings so that when I do exit the menu, I do not hire workers, or I do not activate anything weird that I don't want to be activating. You know, hopefully that's something in time that Giants will eventually one day perhaps fix. User interface with controllers, especially as the game seems to be designed and built for consoles at the moment, from the ground up, with their engine and everything. It's more aimed at console hardware than it is PCs. But yes, I'm just going to, like I say, do a couple of headlands. Might actually let this guy roll now, actually. Right. I want to get on to grass then. Because we are needing... So I'm going to take my little mower, which is over here, and we're going to go do some grassland. Now, I do have, I know, a grass field. I'm going to go out this way. I'm going to turn my headlights off now because it is 10:30 in the morning. I did need them whilst I was finishing my seeding, but I do not require them now. Right. If I know anything, I have to go this way to get to our grass field. We have got a couple of grass fields, although this is like... the actual designated grass field. We have got a couple of areas on our farm when we come into the menu. So, for example, I am coming over here to do field 54, right, which is grass. We have got all this area down here as well, next to the farm, although it doesn't actually show grass growing on that. But I'm hoping we can mow that too and have that as a bit of a bonus. Right. So, it is very sloppy still, underfoot in places, due to the amount of rain we've had. But we're coming in. Shut the gate. There we are. Happy day. Right. So we have our mower. We switch it on. And we'll lower it down. And we're going to start cutting some grass. And well, the great thing about the mower is it's pretty quick. So it's not going to take us too long to whiz around the field with our lovely mower. Screenshot for the thumbnail. Whilst I remember. Then we'll get some... So yeah, just cutting the grass. Doesn't matter how you cut the grass. You just need to get it cut. And then you can start working it. Oh, got an entrance. Cruise control. Laggy controller. Oh, PC lag. Okay, the field is mowed. All the grass is taken care of. All chopped down. Right, we need to now start to figure out how we're going to get this into something we can actually make more useful to us. Now, going back into the menu then. We do not currently have a windrower. That's a problem. Is there any windrowing equipment for sale? First of all, check second hand. However, I think potentially second hand is going to be too expensive if there is anything. A windrower arranges grass, hail, straw and rows that are easier to handle. A tractor with reverse driving function is recommended for this tool. That goes on the back of a machine and you have to push it. You push that one. Which is not really something I want to do. No, there are no second-hand windrowers. So, into the tool menu then. Windrowers. We need a little windrower. That one's 4.7. There was the new one from the, I think the hay and forage pack, wasn't there? These ones. Like I say, these go on the front. That goes on the rear of a machine and is pulled. That one 14 meters. I thought there was another little windrower. Or maybe it's a tedder. Maybe it's a little tedder that I was thinking of. Or was it that one? It was that chrome one, wasn't it? That one. 3.5 meters. Well, there's that one, 4.7 meters. You know what? I'm going to take that one. Right. So we'll put the mower back in the shed very quickly. Alright, I'm going to reverse it back in here. Through the cow sheds. We get away at the minute because we're not using cows. Do you know what? As well, if I look at my equipment, we've got a cultivator there, haven't we? 3-meter cultivator. We have a 4-meter power harrow. So I am thinking to myself that I don't really need this cultivator. We've got duplicate machinery. So the 3-meter cultivator I'm going to take with me to the store. I'm actually going to sell it, ladies and gents. I'm going to sell it. I know it sounds terrible because it's a horse cultivator. It's all nice and shiny and everything, but it's 3 meters. I'm never going to cultivate at 3 meters because it's going to take forever, especially when I've got a 4-meter power harrow that will do the job quicker. And because it's a power harrow and therefore a shallow cultivation type machine, I'm not going to have to worry about stones. So, to the store we go. we will sell this cultivator. That will put some money back in my account nicely. We then take the windrower. And we'll get the rest of the field done. So I will see you in a few more moments' time, ladies and gents. Okay, we're heading back to the farm. I've got my windrower, ladies and gents. I've got the little cultivator sold, so we're back up to 28 grand in the bank, having sold that tool. I was, however, having a bit of a think to myself as we was driving down here that I need to check a few other things. I do. Before I get too carried away. Because I was thinking, how would a map author originally intend for me to handle this field? Given the equipment we start with. And again, we have no loading wagon, ladies and gents. Okay? So it's not like I could just pick up the grass as it is now, laid on the field, and put it into a silage bunker for doing silage. I'm also fairly certain... I mean, I can check my baler, obviously, in a little while, but I'm slightly concerned that there's every possibility that my baler doesn't do wrapping either. It's one of the strange round balers that doesn't have, potentially, a round inbuilt wrapper. So that's another machine we may have to go and acquire, ladies and gents. However, I want to finish out the day. As you can see, it is 4:45 in the afternoon. Sun is leaving me very rapidly. I don't quite know what is going on with the lighting on this map. The sunlight. Why does it get dark so early for a UK map? It never happened on Ox's other maps. And I am using only the map's lighting system. I'm not using relight or anything like that. Or any other mods. So, I mean, September, you would expect it to be light till, you know, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the evening. October, it probably starts getting darker a little bit earlier. And then, obviously, we put the clocks back at the end of October. Ready for winter. And then it definitely gets dark in the evenings from, like, 4 o'clock. It's pitch black. So yeah, just doing some windrowing. Then we'll go grab the baler. I believe my roller has finished rolling over on the other field. So maybe I can pull that over and get the baler sorted out. So let me go and sort that, because I can always set this guy up to work. Like I say, with a worker. Right, there is my... Right, let's check. Has he done... he's not done great, I'll be honest. He hasn't done a brilliant job, look, of rolling. Oh, the normal Giants AI, that is. If I'd have used Courseplay, this field would have been done perfect. It is what it is, unfortunately. Because of the rules I've set myself on the save and how I've programmed Courseplay payment, using Courseplay is incredibly expensive. It's one of the things I've used to try and actually stop myself from using it all the time, because I do know I tend to get very reliant on Courseplay for doing all the field work while I just kind of sit here and manage Courseplay. And that's not for everybody. That's not everybody's kind of preferred play style. So I'm trying to do things obviously more manual, and one of the ways to do that is to make it so that one of my favourite friends in Courseplay is too expensive for me to keep using. Or to use so early right out of the gate on the save. So, like I say, I'm just going to finish this field off nicely. Okay, so picked up the baler, got the roller put back, got the field finished. I'm just going to have a quick check on the bale front how we are coping. It is dark though. Right, I did say as well that I don't, as I say, I've picked up the collected the baler. We have got, sadly, no wrapper on our baler, as I thought. So, it means I'm going to have to wrap the bales after I have managed bale all the grass. So, switch on the baler, lower the pickup. Get along here pretty quickly. And we're just, like I say, just doing the windrows. So we're going to have to get a bale wrapper next. also got the hassle that we've got to wait for this to unload before we can carry on. We're going to have to keep stopping to unload as well, because we don't have like any kind of like capacity tank or expansion tank or anything like we've got with some balers. We don't also have the luxury, like I say, by having a wrapper built in, that we can get things taken care of. So yes, a bale wrapper is going to be the next thing on the list, ladies and gentlemen, of equipment that I need to get a hold of. Okay, ladies and gents, it is, like I say, I know it's dark. It's dark, you're going to have a hard time seeing anything. I'm going to carry on then with baling for the time being, and let the windrower carry on, because there is a lot of hours left in the day still. Even though it is dark, there's a lot of hours left that I can actually get more of this field done. So, in the next video, ladies and gents, when we come back, we'll have a look at wrapping the bales. And that will finish September for us. That will be the last day of the month. And we'll have September done. We'll be ready to move into October, and then we'll be able to start thinking about fertilising the fields that we've seeded. And then we'll also then start having a look at contracts, because I am needing to earn some money. And we're going to be able to focus on contracts, because literally, once the fertilising's done on my crops, I don't have anything else to do on those fields until harvest time. So, well, there'll be more grass. We obviously will be able to mow a couple more times. We'll be able to mow early next year again, hopefully. But yeah, things are difficult, things are challenging. And we need to get as much progress. Okay, we also obviously do have the wheat that we harvested to sell in the winter. I was also reliably told and informed by one of the lovely commenters on one of my early videos that the silo on this map holds 800,000 litres total. However, it's not a multi-fruit silo. It only supports the like the typical silo crops, the base game crops. So it can't stick absolutely everything in there, but it does have an 800,000 litre capacity, which means there is plenty of storage room for me. So, ladies and gents, I keep wanting to end this video, and I'm doing a terrible job at it. So, thank you for watching today's episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. I will see you in the next video very soon. But for now, from me, C Waddy, goodbye.